time-lapse with Fujifilm, Sony, Canon, and DJI. Here are the chapters that you can find also in the video description below. We start with my Fujifilm X-T5 mounted here on a solid enough cheap tripod. The scene is framed with the Sigma 10-18 f2.8. With the X-T5 you click on the menu right here. On the left you have all the main menus. You go for that little camera icon here. You scroll down and on page 2 you click on interval timer shooting. You choose within camera timer. Then on the left you choose the interval between each photo taken by your camera. I like to go for 4 to 6 seconds for a scene with clouds. And on the right you choose the total number of photos that you need. 1 to 999 or infinity. I choose infinity. And usually I stop it manually after between 30 minutes to 1 hour sometimes. And finally, you choose when to start the process, and this is the only camera with that option. So we choose 0 hour and 0 minutes. Click OK, and the camera starts to take a photo every 4 seconds, as you can see. Now the X-T5 is the only one camera that will give you only the sequence of photos, and we have to manually do the time-lapse. Easy to do once you know how. I quickly show you with DaVinci Resolve. You open it, you create a project, untitled Project 3. Then at the bottom you have several windows. You open the first one called Media. On the top here you have 3 dots. You click on it, click on Frame Display Mode and check Sequence. Then you click on the window at the bottom called Edit. You take the folder full of your Fujifilm X-T5 subsequent photos and you simply drop the folder on your media pool. And it's done. DaVinci already made the video for you. You can drag it in your timeline and start editing it as a video. And here is the result. I used JPEG photos, so I removed a bit of color and contrast, and that's it. Here is my Sony setup in the busiest corner of Nara town in Palawan. The lens is the Sigma 18-50mm f2.8. With the Sony A6700 I used the SNQ mode, which stands for slow and quick motion. Very easy with the Sony. Click on the menu. On the left again you have your menus. You go down to that little camera. You click right on your D-pad. In image quality you click on SNQ settings, then frame rate settings. And that brings us to that page where you choose how many photos your camera takes per second on the right and how the camera renders it on the left. If your camera takes 4 frames per second and it renders it at 60 frames per second, that means it will be a 15 times quick motion. And for 5 seconds of actual movie, you need 1 minute and 25 seconds of recording time. So here, because it's about people, I choose to take 4 photos per second and the camera will render at 24 frames per second. So it will be a 6 times quick motion. I push record and that's it. The camera will give me a 24 frames per second video recorded at 4 frames per second. This is the result. I did this one at the beach. I did not change the settings. I added a bit of color and contrast because of the lack of sun. It was very flat and grayish. With the Canon, it's also quite simple but very different. Assuming that you are in video mode with your Canon R7, you click on the menu button up there. Again, the little camera icon, which is the first on the list this time. You click right on the D-pad to go on page 6, and there it is, time-lapse movie. You enable it, but you try to remember to disable it once you are done. Interval 5 seconds. It's about clouds again. It's a video that I made in Switzerland. Number of shots. I put randomly 1300 shots. Movie record size 4K. Auto exposure, I went for fixed first frame. It's a sunset, so the video will become darker and darker. Screen auto off, disable, and here also you have some good informations. At 5-second interval, 1300 photos will take 1 hour and 48 minutes of recording time for a final video of 43 seconds. You click menu to get out of here, then when you press the video recording button, it tells you to press the shutter button to start recording. This only happens because you enabled the time-lapse movie previously, so don't forget to disable it when you are done, or this may confuse you. And as you see, it takes an image every 4 seconds. And this is my favorite result of a mountain at sunset. The lens was the RF100-500 f4.5 to f7.1. For my next test with the DJI Action 4, I used a special color. This one is the Telesin, about $15 US. I think you have 2 sizes available for this one. Super simple, click on the camera. This time it is on the bottom left. You swipe left, you choose time-lapse. You swipe up, then you swipe up again if you want to change the settings. Here you have an interval from half a second to 40 seconds. At the bottom you choose the duration. I'll go again for infinity. You click the arrow to go back, swipe down and press record. This is the result with a photo taken every half a second, which I don't like very much, so I tried another method. I'll show you in a minute. So I tried to take a normal video at 24 frames per second at 2.7K for the example. Then in post, I slightly changed the speed to 5 times faster, which gives me a video at 120 frames per second. But I rendered it back to 24 frames per second. And here is the result. Still with the DJI, I did also a bit of clouds at 5-second interval. I hope my video helped you. Cheers!